Hello, everyone. Welcome to Everything Arsenal. Our first signing of the summer transfer window is almost done. It's pretty much done. We've already gotten the here we go from Fabrizio Romano and Kai Havertz, who will officially become an Arsenal player this week. First signing of the transfer window, we'll be going through what David Arsenal has had to say about this and what Fabrizio Romano has had to say this. I'm sure Arsenal will probably announce it very, very soon. He will sign that one as well, the papers and everything, as Fabrizio Romano has confirmed. But our first signing of the transfer window, I wanted us to at least get a couple of deals going this week, so that you can also focus on other deals. And that first signing has already happened. Then you can calm down a bit, and then the second signing becomes easier. Third signing becomes easier because it gives them time to negotiate on everything. So let's go to what Fabrizio Romano has had to say about this one. So Kai Havertz, first Arsenal signing as deal will be completed in the next hours. Here we go. 60 million guaranteed fee. So 60 million is guaranteed. 5 million in add-ons. So the 60 million guaranteed fee, I think we were told that it's going to be paid in 3 installments. So I don't know if you're ever going to know how the installments are divided, whether it's 20 million and then 20 million again, or are we going to get 40? Are we going to give them 40 million right now and then 10 million across the next 2 seasons? Not sure, but it's 60 million guaranteed, but it's going to be paid in 3 installments, and then 5 million add-ons. Whatever the add-ons have been decided on, I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with appearances. Maybe it's something to do with how many goals is going to get or assists is going to get. We have to wait and see. And also, it's a long-term deal agreed. So 4 or 5 years or maybe more than that. I think it should be 4 or 5 years. He is 24 years of age, so that is going to take him all the way towards his prime, maybe 1 year in his prime. If he signs 5 years, that's going to take him all the way to 29. So he's going to spend his prime years at Arsenal, and then medical tests to be scheduled. So I think that will be done as soon as today and tomorrow. Arsenal will take time to announce it, so don't expect Arsenal to announce it anytime soon, because they have to go and take the pictures, all the videos they have to do, all the announcement videos, all the interviews that they have to do. All that will take a couple of more days, so don't expect Arsenal to announce it anytime soon. But this allows us to go and focus on other deals as well. And also, let's read what David Arsenal has had to say about this one. Arsenal have agreed the deal in principle with Chelsea to sign forward Kai Havertz for a fee in the region of 65 million. That's a lot of money. Wow, that's a lot of money. I didn't expect us to go all the way to that, but they initially wanted 75 million, so I guess it's okay. And then the Athletic reported on Wednesday morning that the clubs are working to finalize the structure of the impending deal, including potential installments and add-ons. He also goes on to say Arsenal are set to pay an initial 62 million for the German international, with further 3 million in add-ons. So, I mean, Fabrizio says it's 60 million plus 5 million add-ons, but David Arsenal says it's 62 million plus 3 million add-ons. So I guess we'll hear the correct fee later on. But from what I heard, it's going to be 3 installments. And also, he goes on to say personal terms are in place and a medical for the attacker will follow and in due course. The Athletic reported last week that Arsenal had made an opening proposal to recruit Havertz. Chelsea need to trim their squad, not just to offset past spending, but also to fund signings in this window. Last season, Havertz predominantly operated as a striker for Chelsea and scored 9 goals in 47 appearances across all competitions. We know that. We don't have to keep reminding us. And we also know Chelsea's you-know-what. Since joining Chelsea from Bayer Leverkusen 3 years ago in a deal worth up to £90 million, so they signed him for £90 million, $113 million in dollars. Havertz has made 139 appearances for the club, scoring 32 goals and providing 15 assists. Now, one thing is for sure, I think he'll definitely score more than he did at Chelsea. I think he'll get more chances and more opportunities to correct that, because I still don't think he's a terrible player to get you 9 goals in a season. There's a combination of him missing chances, correct, but there's also a combination of Chelsea just being terrible last season, and all that put together, didn't really expect him to have a good season. All that every single player basically, even if you take Messi and Odegaard there, they would have been terrible. Like, that's just how bad they were. As well as Havertz, Arsenal are working on a deal to sign West Ham midfielder Declan Rice. A proposal worth up to 90 million, comprising of a 75 million fee and 15 million in add-ons, has been turned down by the Premier League rivals, but Arsenal will be back with a third offer. So Kai Havertz first deal done. I'm happy that we've gotten the first deal done. I wanted it to be Declan Rice. I wanted that to be the first deal so we can get our excitement levels up. But this is the one that has been done. It was also not an easy deal to do because Chelsea wanted 75 million, so we had to negotiate in terms of that one. But that is a done deal. Kai Havertz is now an Arsenal player, so we can now stop saying we don't want Kai Havertz. He's already an Arsenal player, so he is an Arsenal player. So we have to accept he's an Arsenal player, and you have to turn around and now support him. Now we can't say this is a terrible player who's playing for Chelsea. No, he's now an Arsenal player, and he actually wanted to join Arsenal. So that is fun enough as well. Why? I don't know. Whether it's because it's in London, whether he actually does love that project and everything. David Dunstan said there's one that I missed. He said basically Kai Havertz really wanted to play for Arsenal, and Fabrizio also said Kai Havertz was crucial in transfer talks as he only wanted to join Arsenal after the club presented their project to him. So I guess it's just a project. Mikel Arteta is convinced the player has huge potential and can perform at a top level in Arsenal's system. So basically Arteta looked at Chelsea and he was like, you guys have been using him wrong. He's playing in a terrible team around players like Mount and Gallagher. No. Bring him to Arsenal. Let him play around the likes of Saka and Odegaard, and you will see what happens. So, remind of the positions we are being told he will play for Arsenal. 5 different positions, pretty much. So, ESPN said he's going to be played as a number 10, also as a number 8, and also in the 3 attacking positions up front. So, it's always great to have versatile players. I love versatile players who can play different roles. And especially, we've never really had that many of them. Back in the day, if this one is a left back, is a left back. You never really could see Ashley Cole playing at right back or anything like that. Or you see Lauren playing as an attacking midfielder, rarely. So having players like this who can play in different positions, it can only benefit you. I'm having the likes of Ben White and Tomiyasu and Saka and all these guys who can play various positions. You can also add Reece Nelson on top of that, and now Kai Havertz who can play different positions. It's going to be interesting to see where he fits in the most. But it's another. We've kind of sorted out part of our quantity in terms of numbers, in terms of our bench, and having a certain number of players in our team who've played at the top level. At least we've started sorting that one out because. I'm sure if I was to ask you guys, who would you prefer to have on the bench, Havertz or Fabio Vieira? I'm guessing most of you would say Havertz. Actually, that's the question I'm going to ask, maybe in a poll or something. I'm sure most of you would say Kai Havertz. Who would you prefer? Let me know in the chat. Who would you prefer to have on the bench, Havertz or Fabio Vieira? Or who would you prefer to start a game for Arsenal alongside Odegaard? I'm sure most of you would say Havertz. So whichever way you look at it, yes, it's not the signing that you wanted. Yes, maybe you've paid so much money for him. But at the end of the day, if it was that said he wants him and he has a plan for him, then we have to roll with it. We have to roll with whatever the two of them do. And at least we're making moves. It's only 1 week into the transfer window, and at least we're making moves. I'm looking at every other team. I think it's Arsenal that is doing most business. Like, I'm not hearing all the other teams talking about various players like that. Like, Arsenal is already making moves on Declan Rice, Havertz, Julian Timber as well. You're talking about Lavia. So we are making moves very, very quickly. After such a season, after the season that we had last season, we had to attack this transfer window. We couldn't wait for like deadline day or anything. We had to attack this transfer window and have him ready. Have all these players ready by the time we hit the first preseason game against Nuremberg. I think July 13th or something. We have to have like at least 3 or 4 players ready so that it's not rocket science. When you have your players ready to play in preseason, they are going to adapt very, very quickly. And players like Havertz don't even really need to adapt, maybe just in terms of system, like in terms of London, in terms of weather, in terms of food, they're already used to it. He's been here for 3 years or been in London for 3 years. So that also helps. So let me know what you guys are saying. But Kai Havertz is signing for Arsenal for 65 million pounds. And it's going to be paid 210,000 per week. So more structure, in terms of more structure, I think we have to wait for a couple of days to hear how the deal will be done. Because here Fabrizio says that it's going to be 60 million guaranteed and 5 million add-ons. But David Dunstan has said it's going to be 62 million plus 3 million add-ons. Whichever it is, he will be an Arsenal player. And the add-ons, maybe appearances, goals and assists and all that, medical tests will be done probably today, and he will become an Arsenal player. Let's just say he's already an Arsenal player, because by the time Arsenal announce it, that will be like in the next 5-6 days. Arsenal will not announce it right now. You need to know that. So if you're waiting for Arsenal to announce it, pretty much they're not going to do it. There's a lot of other procedures that need to be done. Medical will take a day. The photos and the interviews will probably take another day again, and the interviews and all that with former player probably and right interviewing him or something, all that will take a few other days. So he will be an Arsenal player. He is already an Arsenal player. So let me see what you guys have to say about this transfer to Arsenal. Let's see. Let him cook. Let him cook. I've seen a comment about Ateta cooking. Where is it gone? Lana says Ateta is cooking. Let them cook. Let them cook. Let them cook. Rice does not take 5 minutes to get ready. The rice takes like 30 minutes or something. So let him cook that deal as well. But yeah, we are in the process of cooking now. In the process of cooking, we're not just signing any player. You know, like Chelsea, for example. Chelsea just sign players because Arsenal want them or because another team wants them. I'm usually very happy that these guys usually take a look at the player and they're like, this is the player that we want and this is the player that you're going to go for. That usually helps. Really hope so as well, but I hope everything goes well for sure. This is one deal that we need to get done, or this is one transfer that we need to work out, because Chelsea fans are pretty much happy that he's joined Arsenal, and most Arsenal fans are not happy that Havertz has joined us. So if he hits the ground running right away, it's going to benefit us a lot. Like, he'll help us in terms of goals. And we got 88 goals last season. You know, if he adds those 9 goals that he scored for Chelsea and those like 5 assists, that is already 100 goals for Arsenal. So I would be happy with that. And how many goals and assists would you be expecting from Havertz next season? How many goals and assists in total? How many would you be like, you know what, I'm happy with this? Is it 10 goals? And 10 goals in total and assists, or 15 goals or 20 goals? How many do you need from Havertz next season to be like, yes, it has actually worked out for him? Because I actually cannot. I really want him to score at Stamford Bridge. That is one thing I really want to happen for next season. Here we go, says Ibrahim. Absolutely. That's awesome, says Jay. Watching from Liberia. Appreciate it. Monday. Dandale for Kai Havertz, says Steven. We will do well in this transfer market. I'm too sure about that. Family, says Henry. I am sure as well. Like, I'm still not concerned about the Rice deal. And if you add players like Timber as well, and it's exciting. It has to be exciting. Like, obviously they know we had a great season last campaign, so they don't want to screw it up. But they don't want to be like, okay, we finished second, let's go back to finishing 5th and 6th. Obviously they don't want that to happen. That is why they're very serious in terms of targeting the players that they want and getting these deals done before the preseason. I'm sure we'll get at least 3 or 4 deals done before preseason. If I was to bet on it, I'd say at least 3 deals will be done before preseason. That first game against Nuremberg. Havertz is a very good attacker, says John. I think he is. Last couple of seasons, he has not been. Whether it's his confidence has been shot because of the team he's been playing for, I don't know. But then again, remember, we do need someone to score for us in the Champions League final, you know? We need someone to score for us in the Champions League final, and we have the guy to score for us in the Champions League final next season. So that is one thing that we sorted out. So we just need to get players to play for us in the semi-final and quarterfinals. Greetings, everything Arsenal. Any luck with Rice and Timber deals? Timber is very, very close. Rice, the negotiations are going on. We are probably going to make a third bid very soon as well. Let's see. Kai will be a good player for Arsenal. I'm also hoping so. I mean, also looking at his own career, many people consider him at Chelsea being a failure. If he comes to Arsenal and also becomes a failure, then in terms of his career, that will be a huge hit for his career. But if he comes back to Arsenal and revives his career, he's also a player who plays every single day for Germany, and Germany have incredible attackers like the past few years. Not just few years, like they've won the World Cup numerous times. I think that only Brazil have won more. Like, Germany are a very good international team. I think in terms of best international teams, I think Germany would definitely be in the top 3 in terms of international competitions as well. Right now they have Muller, they have Musiala, they have Gnabry, they have Sane, all these players who can play. And Havertz still plays every single day. Recently he's played against Colombia and against was it Ukraine? I think Germany played against Ukraine. He's been playing all of those games, so he is a regular for his international team. So I usually look at that and I'm like, for a player to play for his country, to be in the first 11, there has to be something good with him. So let's wait and see. Let's hope Arteta brings out the Bayer Leverkusen Havertz in our side. This what I mean, 25 goals. What do you mean 25 goals? Do you mean expecting 25 goals from Havertz? Hopefully that's not what you mean, because that is too high of a pressure. Our team, in terms of goals, we mix it up. So we are probably, if you can get 15, another 15 from Odegaard, another 15 from Saka, another 15 from Martinelli, another 15 from Havertz, another 15 from Jesus, something like that, I'd be so happy. If it can be divided like that, I'd be super happy, because that means everyone is contributing. We're not a one-man team, you know. I don't know if there's any Man United fans watching, but you know, for Man United, if Rashford doesn't play, that is it. They're not going to get any goals. For us, we don't want to be that kind of team. Trossard can score, he can assist. Havertz can score, he can assist. Martinelli can score, he can assist. Jesus can do both. He did very well despite being injured for half of the season. You also have Saka can do that. Reece Nelson, if he gets more time next season, we saw what he can do from the bench, and he only played like 200 minutes in the Premier League. If he can also contribute, and then you get 2 goals from Saliba, another 2 or 3 goals from, I really want this player to be announced very soon. If you can get like 3 goals from Declan Rice as well, because we are losing. We've lost, like if Xhaka and Partey go, we've already lost like 10 goals there, because I think Xhaka scored 7 and Partey around 3 or something. We're already losing 10 goals there. So we also need a couple of midfielders who can score goals. And then if you can get 1 from White, 1 from Zinchenko, 1 or 2, and then Fabio Villa, hopefully next season he becomes the Fabio Villa that we signed for 40 million, then things would be good. Rashi says Chelsea robbed you. That is okay. The only time we can find out is next season. So right now, anyone can say anything about it, and no one would be right until we see him playing for Arsenal. So we have to wait and see what happens next season. We will do well. Read that already. Where was I? What a good signing for the Gunners. Perfect Xhaka replacement, says right. In terms of perfect Xhaka replacement, I'm not sure. For Xhaka, to replace Xhaka is very hard. To get that similar ilk of player is very hard. And then on top of that, you know, Xhaka, there's a time, I think a couple of seasons ago, Xhaka played for us as a centre-back for a couple of games, as a third centre-back when you're playing like a back 5 or something. And I think Kolasinac was playing left wing-back or something, or Maitland-Niles, one of them. They somehow, was it the FA Cup season? I think Xhaka played centre-back for us. He can also cover left-back. I remember when Tierney was going forward, Xhaka used to cover for us at left-back, and he used to play it very, very well. In terms of leadership and just being like a tough player to play against in midfield, like a player who's not going to let you bully him pretty much. He's going to tackle you. He's going to, you know, he's going to protect his players. If you tackle him, he's not going to let that happen. You know, back in the day, Arsenal used to get bullied. You used to be told, you have Wilshere, you have Ramsey, you have weak players at Arsenal. With players like Xhaka, you don't have that. And he's also a leader on top of that. He's a player who played international games a lot, and he brings that experience. And then last season, he added goals and assists. He was scoring regularly, and he was assisting regularly. So replacing that is hard. Havertz could, I'm sure Havertz will replace the goals and assists. I'm sure he can get 7 goals and 7 assists in a season. I'm pretty sure of that. When he's playing in that Arsenal team, I'm sure he can do that. The only other thing is I don't think Smith Rowe and Havertz and Trossard can replace Xhaka in terms of defensive work and just midfield energy. And, you know, Xhaka could also play 50 games in a row for us, because every time you're making predicted lineups and everything, we always put Xhaka there, and he didn't even need to rest. Whether it's Europa League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, he could play every single game. Now, the other thing is I'm not sure Smith Rowe, Havertz, or Trossard can play every single game without getting injured and without needing to rest. So losing Xhaka is going to hurt us, so we need to replace him sufficiently, but I don't think he's a direct replacement for him. But if it's like a game that we are going to attack, which we did a lot last season, if I'm not going to disrespect anyone, so if I'm disrespecting you, because they actually beat us last season anyway, and a lot previously, a team like Nottingham Forest at home, or Luton at home, or most home games, especially against the bottom 10 or the bottom half of the table, a game that we are expected to win by 3-4 goals, then in a game like that, Havertz can definitely replace Xhaka, because he can get the goals and assists, and that is another attacking player getting into the team. Instead of Saka, Martinelli, Jesus, and Odegaard, you're adding another one on top of that. So in terms of attacking, I do think Havertz is better than Xhaka, because he's been training there all his life. But in terms of defensive work, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that one, because I don't think we have anyone who can directly replace Xhaka. Not Smith Rowe, not Fabio Villa, not Trossard, and not Havertz who's coming in. So I have a feeling we're still going to get another 3 midfielders on top of Havertz. So whether it's Rice, Lavia, and someone else, because losing Xhaka and Partey, that would still leave our midfield open. And Kong is not going to be here. I'm sure he's going to be sold or loaned out as well. Welcome, Kai. Trust the process, says Joshua. We need 3 players, good stats, says Stelios. Half a loaf is better than no bread, says Lighty. But I'm not sure how it's gonna fare. We'll wait. Let's get the Rice deal done. Teams are watching and will gazump the deal. I'm still not right about the Rice deal. Rice will be an Arsenal player. I'm not right about Man City in terms of that. He already wants to join Arsenal. I know Mudryk also wanted to join Arsenal. But this time is different. This time we've been competing for a league title. This time you're back in the Champions League. This time it's different. It's not like last season or the previous season. This Havertz deal, I don't want it, says Timothy. Well, it has already happened, Timothy, so it doesn't really matter what we want. But let's see how he will play at Emirates. Arsenal need to proceed very fast about Rice deal. Before City, you can imagine Rice, Xhaka leaving, and at the same time, Thomas Partey too is on the move. The Thomas Partey one was a surprise. Remember, Xhaka was supposed to leave. Xhaka has been close to leaving like 3 times. After the Crystal Palace incident, that January is about to leave until Ateta came in and he kept him. Also, last season he was about to leave, and I think there's a January as well that he was about to leave. So this is like the 3rd, 4th time he was about to leave. So we expect him to leave this time, Xhaka. Maybe it's good for him to have a good challenge and also to end his Arsenal career on a high because he had a very good season. So maybe you'll remember him for more positives than negatives. The Partey one is a complicated one. I guess we'll get to know what happened with that one. Is it the one who wants to leave? Has he had enough in England at the 3-4 years that he's been here? Has he had enough? Is it because he had a poor end this that is why we are selling him? Is it because of all the drama that has been going on? Maybe Arsenal don't want to be part of that anymore, or maybe Partey himself does not want to be part of that anymore. He wants to relax in a different country and everything. We'll probably get to know more about it in a couple of days. But Saudi Arabia, 70 million, please. I hope he brings good things to Arsenal, says Sheriff. Great news. Kai Havertz is a good player. Rice will join soon, says Latif. Well and good. Kai Havertz, you're welcome to Arsenal family, says Katumwa. The best thing is his willingness to come. He'll ease pressure on Odegaard. I think that one will definitely do it. And it's always great to have numbers in terms of the midfielders, especially. Last season, Odegaard, I think he played 37 games, and the only one that he missed was against Brentford when Fabio Vieira came in and scored. I think he was injured for that one, but all the other games we had to play Odegaard. Whether we were 3 goals up, he had to play 90 minutes. Whether we were trailing, whether he had to play because Fabio Vieira is not on form, and he had pretty much had to play. He was one of our best players as well. But if you have other options like Fabio Vieira, not the Fabio Vieira from last season, the Fabio Vieira that I'm expecting to have a good season, second good season, or a good second season, and Havertz, who I'm expecting from Leverkusen, not the Chelsea. If Fabio Vieira plays like the FC Porto Fabio Vieira and Havertz plays like the Bayer Leverkusen Havertz, then we have no problem in terms of attacking there. We scored 88 goals. If they play like they've been playing in their previous teams, then that is 100 plus goals in the league for us. Kai should start and Fabio on the bench because Fabio is not physical. In the home games, as I said, against the smaller teams, I'm sure they're going to start both of them, Odegaard and Havertz. I'm sure they're going to start both of them. Now, again, we have to wait and see what happens with Fabio Vieira and Smith Rowe. I want both of them to stay, but there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee because we don't know about the rest of the plans. Are we going to sign someone else as well on top of that? What about Caicedo deal? That is going to be too expensive. I don't think we're going to get him. But recently, we've been hearing that they've not 100% cancelled it, that they could still go for him. So you have to wait and see. I'd prefer Havertz to start over Fabio Vieira, says Watford DC. Let Fabio Vieira go, please. Keep Thomas Partey and Granit. Different roles, different situations. Unfortunately, you're not going to get your wish, Jeremiah. It's Fabio Vieira will probably stay, and Granit and Partey will probably leave. Unfortunately, I would have kept Thomas Partey, and I wouldn't have sold Fabio Vieira. I don't sell players after one season. We have to give him a second season and see what happens. If he gets injured again and plays terribly between August and January, then we can still reconsider. Same applies to Tomiyasu. I don't want us to sell Tomiyasu. I want to give him half of next season. If he gets injured a lot again and then he plays one game, gets injured, then by January you can start considering replacing him and selling him. But for both of them, I'd not get rid of any of them. Fabio Vieira and Tomiyasu. You don't get rid of a player after one season. I don't usually go with that side of thinking. I don't believe in this guy, says Jeremiah. Let's hope it changes your mind. Chelsea fans say the fact Chelsea shouldn't have sold him despite his Arsenal the company. I'm also happy because we are London, says Griezmann. The midfield trio of Havertz, Rice, and Odegaard is going to be superb, says Right. You can't bench Havertz. Havertz that you bring Vieira. I'm sure Havertz is the one who's going to start fast as well. 65 million. I don't think he's going to be on the bench. But then again, they're not going to start every game, so it's always good to have that bench. You know, I rather have Havertz on the bench than having Nwaneri, a 15-year-old, on the bench. So you rather have that kind of a player on the bench who can come on for the last 30 minutes, and you're not scared that you're going to lose the game because it's come on. So Atta definitely has a lot of work to do in terms of changing Arsenal's fans' minds because not many people trust this signing, and in terms of just laughing in Chelsea's face because they think they're happy. They're happy because Arsenal they've sold Havertz to Arsenal. So let's prove them wrong and let's hit them with the pie in the face. We definitely overpaid, and we have other important targets we needed to get fast. Says that is what we think. But if they've signed Havertz fast, maybe that is what they think. Maybe they think Havertz is more important. So we don't know. Obviously, Rice is more important, so hopefully get it done. I'm sure Rice was supposed to be the first deal, but if it's more complicated, obviously it's not going to be the first one. So the benefit and the positive outcome to look at this one is now that you've gotten Havertz out of the way, you can now also concentrate more on getting Rice through. But going all for all the deals at the same time, obviously it becomes slower. But now that Havertz has been signed and Timber is on the way as well, then you have more time to negotiate this Rice deal and hopefully becomes an Arsenal player soon, man. West Ham are playing hard to get. It's a welcome development. Arsenal signs Havertz, says Kau. I'm not in support for selling Thomas Partey, says Adebayo. I'm telling you, none of us is. Probably 99% of Arsenal fans, no one is in agreement with that. But some things are out of our control. If he's leaving because of outside of the pitch matters, we cannot control that. If Arsenal don't want to get involved in Thomas Partey out of the pitch situations, we cannot get involved in that. We cannot argue that. If Thomas Partey wants to get himself out of England and he wants a new challenge, or the money is too good in Saudi Arabia, we cannot. We have no control in terms of that as well. So let's just wait and see what happens with it. Lighty says, which Chelsea player did well at Arsenal? Players from Arsenal did better there than the other way around. Yeah, but Arsenal players did better at Chelsea. I'm not going to say no. Ashley Cole was a hit for them and those kind of players. But then again, different. The players that we've been signing from Chelsea have been 30 years of age, and some of them have even been 60 years of age. Havertz has not hit the prime of his career yet, so it's a different case in terms of signing a player in terms of age. We've been signing players like Willian and all those players who are pretty old. Which player has done well at Arsenal? Now, I do disagree with people in terms of Petr Cech. I don't think Petr Cech was 100% terrible in his Arsenal career. I think he won the Golden Glove in his first season or something. I think he won the Golden Glove and he made some world-class saves for us. He was bad in 40% of his Arsenal career, but 60% he was great. Apologies if the internet is going down. But in terms of up to now, Jorginho's done okay. He's not done terribly. But the likes of Willian, fine. Also, if you're going to speak about David Luiz first season was terrible. Second season was okay. That is according to me. But I do see what you're saying in terms of most of them not hitting at Arsenal. But different situation with Havertz. Different. We cannot say, okay, now we'll never ever sign a Chelsea player because Willian didn't do well at Arsenal. That's not how to look at it. Let's see. Rice next. If West Ham refuse again, we should go for Caicedo. Brighton are even tougher to negotiate with, Emmanuel. They want like 130 million for Caicedo, so it's not going to be easier. So we've already progressed with the Rice deal, and we are the only team in for him. If you go to Caicedo, it's harder because Chelsea want him, Man United want him, so you're basically getting yourself into a position where other teams are involved. At the moment, Rice, it's only Arsenal. Let's see. Kai is a good player, so he's innocent. Oyewusi says, I'm certain Kai Havertz will pull his weight at Arsenal when aligned with the right set of mind, like Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, and Saliba. Yeah, another positive way to look at it. We were not sure about Ramsey. We were not sure about White. We were not sure about all those players. Let's hope the fact that we're not sure about Havertz, he proves us wrong. We need Rice too, for sure. That is the first player we need, David. You're welcome, Jesse. We don't see Kai Havertz as a priority signing. Is just a waste of money. Says we have to wait and see next season what happens. So I don't think we can get a definitive answer for that until he actually plays for Arsenal. every season new signing from Chelsea. It does feel that way, Rocky, right? It does feel like every season you get a player from Chelsea. Let's see. Who knows? Maybe next season we get, I don't know, Chukwemeka from there. We don't know. Chelsea robbed you. That is exactly what they said about Jorginho. Exactly, Mohamed. Arsenal are not serious about winning trophies. The deal of Kai Havertz is not a necessary deal, says Mansouri. That is according to us fans, but not according to the manager. If the manager wants him, I'm not going to complain about it. Even if he wanted Timo Werner, I'm not going to complain about it. If the manager wants him, go ahead. Sign still to be announced within hours, or who knows, just Arsenal doing their things, says Lawal. And it's not the only player we're going to sign, so that is also a benefit, a good thing. It's not like the only player we're going to sign. How much is Arsenal prepared to spend this season, says Lighty? Let's answer that question with this. So this is yesterday. Arsenal have upped their ante in terms of Declan Rice, Kai Havertz, Julian Timber, and Romeo Lavia. The club's total outlay on new arrivals could yet exceed 250 million. I can see that as well. I can see that us getting deals towards that stage, because we're getting Havertz for 65, Price 90, 100. That is already like 117. We've not talked about Timber, we've not talked about Lavia. I think he's going to get through close to that. And Arteta wants the deals almost 200 million of business done before the preseason starts. So that was according to Miguel Delaney yesterday. So let's say 200 to 250 million to answer that question. Let's give him time to prove us wrong, but I see him making it at Arsenal, says Mehdi. Probably the best way to look at it. He's already an Arsenal player, so whatever we say does not really help. So we just have to support him right away and see how he does. Any deal for Timber, says David. So for Timber, I'm going to do a video about it next. But from Political, Arsenal and Ajax are negotiating for Julian Timber, and a deal is expected to be agreed for around 40 to 45 million. The player wants to play for Arsenal. I really love hearing that. A lot of them want to play for Arsenal these days. That is a good thing. Most of them back in the day, like Vlahovic, not even that far back. 2 years ago, Vlahovic was like, no. I do not want to play for Arsenal. I prefer Juventus. If you ask him right now, I'm pretty sure he'll say he wants to play for Arsenal. 100 million for Rice is too much. Let's use that money to buy more quality players, says Suleiman. Tell me which quality players. Which ones do you have in mind? Let's give him time. I've read that one. Odegaard and Havertz 10 and 8 will be a machine, says Henry. I hope and pray Partey stays. We're all hoping the same, Musa. But right now, according to this, Musa, it's not really looking good. It's not really looking good. Arsenal and Thomas Partey are both working on a potential exit solution. So in terms of him staying, it's not looking likely at all. Not looking likely, unfortunately. So let's see. Sonic, nice. How are you? Arteta also wanted Willian. Yes, we can't go back and forth in terms of that. 70% of the signings have been good, 30% have been bad. I'd still top in terms of the good signings. The good signings have been more than the bad signings. You're never going to have a 100% hit record in terms of your signings. Every other team has gotten bad signings. Man United, how many of them? Sancho, Anthony, how many of them have been good? Maguire. We can go to Chelsea. They spent 600 million. 80% of them have been bad. So every team usually gets bad signings. But what I don't agree with is if people would take this comment and say, okay, that is why I wanted to out, that is BS. It got us to second position. So give him time to build the whatever he wants. I really don't know why our signing always drag like snail. Look at Man City. They got their man under 2 days, says Ayodele. I've talked about this on too many times. I'm not even going to answer that. I believe Arteta will bring the best out of Kai Havertz, says Partey. So let's see what happens in the next couple of hours and next couple of days. And hopefully can get the deals done. The rest of the deals, especially Rice and Timber, hopefully can get it done very, very quickly. Thank you for watching. Catch up with you on the next one.